Hello viewer, Andrew here for Dark Shore Capital. I'm going to talk to you about buying unequipped Legion epics, the lifeblood of my gold making economy, and the major source of cash flows that I currently have. It's an interesting topic because up until this point it has been a very, very healthy pursuit of gold. Now, I want to give a little bit of background to kind of help myself frame how to think about them going forward, because I think it is an important time to start thinking about this and the future of them. So buying unequipped epics primarily fall into two categories. There are the leveling, so the sub-level 110 items and the 110 items. And when I say sub-level 110, I really mean 101, because anything that's not 101 or 110 really doesn't matter. The 101 items are useful for two different purposes. One, just leveling your character from 100 to 110. It gives you a huge power boost and some starter gear once you get to the max level, and just makes the whole experience very easy. The other more interesting and sort of a niche use is the 101 twink community. 101 twinking, I don't know what you want to call it. It's a thing that happens, that people do. There's a few reasons why they do it. Either farming mobs out in the Broken Shore, being level 101, fighting 101 mobs with 110 gear makes it really easy to kill things really quickly. Your mileage may vary, but I think that the other more common use, or the more profitable use I should say, is using your level 101 character with crazy good 101 gear to boost other characters through dungeons in an effort to power level them very quickly. Now, the 101 characters that do this are always going to be looking for items with leech on it, because it allows them to completely solo dungeon content. For the same reasons as the farming becomes easy, all the dungeon mobs are 101, but they're also 101, but they have item level 800 plus gear, so it makes it very trivial to just kill everything without dying. You're basically invincible because the amount of damage you're doing is healing you constantly, and it's a power leveling technique. Let's just leave it at that. So with an upfront investment, you can get a level 101 experience lock character to just boost other people for, I don't know, I want to say the going rate's around 2,000 gold a run. I think I was listening to a stream of Mr. Gumdrops, and he was saying that's about what he's going to be paying for some boosting. So, you know, it can be a gold income if that's what you want to do, and people do it. Now, the other side of the BoEs are the 110 level requirement BoEs, and these are primarily used to boost your item level once you're max level, and they're the items that drop from the raid instances. So as of this recording, in Tomb of Sargeras, you'll get BoE drops just from the trash that are item level that is current, high 800s, low 900s, and you can buy those off the auction house, put it in your character, and get a nice little eye level boost on your raiding character, which obviously has attraction because you can, there are some cases where it's optimal stats and that's the best in slot item for your particular class, or you're new to raiding, or you re-rolled and you just want a jump start to help you do the most damage possible in your raid. So those are your markets that you're really considering for flipping BoEs. So currently in Legion, we're about to get a new raid, which is allegedly going to be the last raid for the tier. That's, kind of an important thing to notice, because as long as there are raids, there's going to be a need for people to get gear to get into those raids. So the first obvious thing you should probably be thinking of is any item levels that are trivially below kind of like the raid finder level for the newest raid are probably going to be a little less attractive, because why would I buy something for 50,000 gold when I can just queue up for LFR and face roll my way to some free epics that are going to be the same or better item level, potentially even more because Titan forging. So the idea is that the value of those items that are not around the current raid item levels bracket are going to tail off in value. So you want to be wary of those things going into new patches. So that means that right now you should be thinking about, okay, what items do I have in stock that are going to be obsolete with the new raid? I'm going to need to either offload those or not buy more, or do whatever's appropriate given your evaluation of the situation. For me, I do need to look through my character that handles these items and see what I've got in stock and what needs to get out the door right now so that I don't lose too much, and what I can afford to keep around. Because it's not like these items completely lose value. Like, somebody still will pay gold to get these things, because not everybody raids. Getting an 880 item level epic can still be useful to somebody who maybe just wants to run around doing world quests or farming mounts, or whatever casual when I say casual, I mean basically non-heroic mythic raiding pursuits that exist in World of Warcraft. The other side of things, we'll leave the leveling stuff until we're done talking about the current content things. As for the Antorus BoEs that are going to come out, obviously we're going to be keeping our eyes on those popping up in the auction house in the first few weeks. It's definitely a very volatile time to be in the market of buying up BoEs, because a price hasn't really been established yet. I have a pretty decent idea from experience going through Nighthold and Emerald Nightmare and all the previous raids, Tomb of Sargeras, for what's a good price for things, what's not a good price for things based on item level brackets. But things could be crazy. Like in the first few weeks in Nighthold, there were just a ton of BoEs getting flooded on the market for whatever reason. There was a bug that made them drop too often. People were just farming the crap out of them in trash farming groups. It causes the prices to change. You just got to be wary of it and not go too crazy. This is also a place where having knowledge of different classes' stat priorities comes into play, because frankly, a crit versatility cloth waste currently is pretty much garbage, because what caster wants versatility? And if that doesn't make sense to you, then that kind of just emphasizes the point of why it is helpful to understand these things for endgame raiders, right? This all really comes down to understanding your markets, right? You shouldn't be so naive as to think that, oh, I'm just a gold moneymaker and I don't need to know about raiding to maximize my profits. Well, no, you should have an open mind and think, well, maybe my knowledge of raiding can increase my profits. That's a healthy mindset to have. So with Antorus coming out, that's the next raid. We're just going to try and learn as much as possible, be as knowledgeable as possible about things, so that we can take advantage and hopefully buy some stuff cheap and sell it high. Then, taking it one step further, looking even more into the future, there is the matter of next expansion coming into play at some point. Historically, and by that I mean the past couple expansions, Warlords of Draenor and Mists of Pandaria, the final raid existed for over a year. That's a long time, okay? If we were looking at final raid, 3 to 6 months new expansion, then you're going to want to pay attention to that, because your BoEs that you've invested in, you're going to need to flip them within those 6 months, right? And that's not a ton of time when you're considering how slow moving some of these items can be. They're a serious investment, and you have to understand that you could be taking a loss by, oh, oops, new content, new patch, new expansion coming out. All your stuff's completely irrelevant now, or extremely devalued because nobody needs it for raiding anymore. The only real draw to that kind of stuff at that point is cosmetic, transmog. People wanting to finish off their transmog sets. So that's something else to think about. I do think that Antorus is going to be out for at least a year, as is tradition. As of the recording of this, we're just a few days away from BlizzCon, where we're expecting the announcement of the next expansion, where when Blizzard announces an expansion, it takes them a while to actually get from announcement to release date, at least a year. So, nothing to be worried about yet, just something we have to consider and keep at the forefront of our mind. So with that said, what I'm going to do is take a look at my BoE character, my BoE Flipping character, and see what I've got in stock, anything that's TOS, current content that needs to get moved, sometime soon, if I want to, not risk the price drop. Now, the other side of this is the required 101 level items. These guys are the best. They are my favorite thing to be flipping and selling in Legion, because spoiler alert, there's always people leveling alts in World of Warcraft, and there's always people with plenty of extra cash that just don't want to deal with it, man. So they buy some BoEs to make it easier on themselves and just blast through the content. That, alongside the twinking thing, makes it a very healthy market. And honestly, the values of the 101 items has not significantly increased or decreased throughout the entire course of the expansion. I'm very thankful for that, because it's very consistent. I can always know that, you know, I will get a sale on this 101 item if I buy it at half price, which, believe it or not, happens fairly frequently on my server. I'm sure it happens on your server as well. So yeah, 101s are a solid investment in my book, and will be for at least another year or so, because regardless of, you know, raid content drought, there's always, when there's no new raid content, what do people do? I guess I'll level an alt. It's a very valid alternative to raiding, because, you know, you want to try out a new class, get ready for the next expansion, you don't know what your main's going to be, so you want to have everything ready, and you don't want to spend all the time leveling, so you get the super powerful items to help you level. So yeah, on a scale of like 1 to 10 BoEs that are required level 101, it's like a solid 10 on investment grade. That's a AAA bond right there. Obviously got to list them so you actually sell them, but you know, that's a whole other story. So that's my little musings on Legion BoEs. Like I said, it's been my bread and butter gold maker for the entire expansion. Flipping those things single-handedly has kind of propelled me from, hey, I play World of Warcraft and sometimes I have money. Oh, well, look, Warlords of Draenor in garrisons. Haha, look at all this cash. To, okay, I think I actually kind of understand things a little bit. I'm gonna, you know, kind of leverage my knowledge and my understanding of the game and my interest in gold making to take it a step further. Let's see, closing thoughts on Legion BoEs. I guess one little thought I'll just say is that the BoEs from the end of Warlords of Draenor, both from the second to last raid and the last raid, that would be Blackrock Foundry, the second to last, and Hellfire Citadel, the last, do still sell. They're pretty much on par with transmog levels of sell rates, so it's nothing too crazy, but when those things sell, they're still pretty expensive. I think it's honestly just a holdover from price memory of what they used to be at current content. People just, you know, that's what was in their market value on TSM, and that's what it's just going to stay at, because it's not like people are going out to specifically farm that stuff. It's just not a thing that happens. Yeah, the sell rate's low enough that it's, you know, farmers aren't going out to saturate the market because there's not a whole lot of value in it. So for better or worse, they're staying reasonably valuable. I think the same will probably happen with most of the Legion BoEs as well. So I guess in the doom and gloom scenario where Taurus is the last raid and we get the next expansion within like 6 months and we're super stocked up on BoEs, it won't be the complete end of the world, because they'll retain their value even if we can't sell them quickly. We'll see. Hopefully it won't be a big deal either way, because by that time we'll have diversified our cash flows into other things besides just BoE flipping. That's going to wrap up this video for now. Thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you next time. Andrew with Darkshore Capital.